one more visit to the Q&A pool. We're going to basically go back one more time to some more questions and answers I did at one of the Tony Robbins sessions. And today you're going to meet 3 new people, 3 new issues, 3 new problems, 3 new strategies and answers I give them. So what's the first one? Somebody's asking, Jay, how large should tests be to be meaningful? You wondered that? Guess what? You'll have the answer in about, 30 seconds. Next, somebody said, Jay, how do I get my inside people going and growing and selling and performing? How do I motivate? How do I stimulate? How do I inspire? How do I make them so passionate I can't stop them from achieving? You ever wonder how to do that with your people? 20 more seconds, you'll know the answer. Finally, a third person said, Jay, help me. I've got a complicated home care health business and I need a headline that will shout out to the world the benefit, the advantage, the reason why they should come to me. Guess what? I gave it to them. Yeah. Enjoy and take a lot of notes.
The question is on testing.
The answer is yes.
Yeah.
I'm the psychic marketer.
Good. 2 things regarding tests. You mentioned you should test.
Ask me number 2 first.
Okay. Number 2 is, how many pieces should you send to determine which piece is more effective? Do you need to send
Depends on
50,
the medium.
100, 1,000?
It's not enough. I mean, you got to do 5,000 usually if it's an email, or 10,000 if it's direct mail. Used to be 5,000, but there's a concept you got to realize. The world isn't just black and white, indicative versus definitive. Sometimes you don't have enough budget to be definitive, so you start by being indicative, and then you take that and you reconfirm it with the profits by expanding it. If you do something that looks really good and you try 5,000 names and there's a list of 1 million and you got to pay for it, you don't immediately go from 5,000 to 1 million because it could be a false test, or maybe the provider accidentally or a little covertly gave you the very best names first, so you got to be very careful and walk your way through. Years ago, all we did were direct mail. We would test 5, then we would try 20, then we would try 50. Even if there was 1 million names, we would never rent them all because you can have a lot of incongruity as you. Does that help?
Yeah, and then
what's the first question?
The first question is, so how many campaigns do you have to run to figure out, well, which of these 3, 5, 7 is the best?
Well, I mean, usually if you test one, I mean, again, I didn't have the opportunity to get into testing mechanisms, but there's a hierarchy of testing. You know, you're going to test your headline, you're going to test your proposition, you're going to test your proof, you're going to test your call to action, you're going to test your guarantee. But you can only test one variable honestly at a time if you want to be scientific. However, it's not black and white. You might test one complete composite sort of a Frankensteinian amalgam, and if it works better, you start with that, and then later on when you have time and you're making enough money, you test as many as you can. But most of you probably aren't big enough that you're going to be pure, definitive, purist as far as marketing scientists, so you try to be the best indicative ones you can. Does that help?
Sure, thanks.
Okay. Yes.
Hi, Jay. Emery Schweikhofer, National Resource Management. We're in energy conservation. I'm looking for, and your work is awesome.
Thank you.
I think your insights that we've seen today are just awesome.
Thank you.
What I'm looking for a little bit is from an internal side, and somebody asked the question, where would you start? But internally within the company, how would you prioritize or leverage all of this knowledge? So that
Good, that's a great question. A couple of things. First is, if you believe in the strategy of preeminence, there's 3, I forgot this. There's 3 groups of clients that you're serving, and certainly the first one is the ones who pay you, but the other 2 are the ones you pay. Your employees, your team, they're your clients. You want for them to have the best life possible, the greatest growth, the greatest satisfaction, the greatest congruency with what you're all about, and they can't know that if you don't share your vision and et cetera for them. That's the first thing. Second is you got to get clear on your strategy. What the hell is the game you're playing? Then you got to reconcile all the things going on, all the moving parts, to see if they're even congruent. If they are, then how are they performing? Then how can you get yourself out of the morass and into more leverageable things? And if you just do that, I can go on and on and on, but that's a pretty good start, don't you think?
I think so very much.
Okay, thanks.
That's why I brought a couple of them with me.
Thank you. I hope they got a lot out of it. Well, here we are again. How is it? How'd I do?
Hey, did you speak to me or what? You're fabulous.
Thank you. So are you.
You bet. Thank you.
What can I do for you?
Humble too. Thank you. So anyway, I lead a team of amazing, we provide home health care, and I have a team of very compassionate, wonderful people, and we show that to our clients and our caregivers. And can you give me a great headline for collaterals?
it's got to be a benefit. And unfortunately, I'm very good on the fly, but in copywriting, it takes me a lot longer. But I would ask you to fill in the blank. We've got a document that Chet wanted me to work on. And it's, I got two versions. One's 100 of the best headlines of all time with construction. The other's $35 million headlines, and it tells you all the psychology. I will give Tony and Chet the latter, and then let them disseminate it. And if they like, I'll have the office send it over tonight or tomorrow so they can distribute it, because it takes longer to do. It gives you the psychology.
I just really wanted an excuse to thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.